Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. The Atlanta Hawks have made a move, trading John Collins to the Utah Jazz for a bag of chips. Now, if I'm real with you, it's not just any ordinary bag of chips. This is the uh, Fritos barbecue twist. This is your Funyuns. This is your favorite bag of chips, right? It's still a bag of chips, but it's your favorite bag of chips. And I want to dive into that. One, let's just start off by saying John Collins is by no means a bad player. He's not overpaid, right? He is a really, really talented player. He is a legitimate starting power forward in the NBA. He can get you 20 and 10 depending upon how you use him, but maybe better used in that kind of Aaron Gordon type Swiss Army knife capacity, which he was being used. But it's to say that he's an extremely talented player that no longer really fit the direction of the team and also the salary cap situation. And this is why it's your favorite bag of chips, right? It's a bag of chips because you lost him pretty much for nothing. Rudy Gay is a contract filler who will likely be released from the team, or he might be kept around as like a veteran stabilizing force, a guy who's been around in the league, teach the young guys professionalism, which, if anything, we're learning from the New Orleans Pelicans, the Memphis Grizzlies. It's really important to have those guys in the locker room. It is extremely important to have those mature, seasoned veterans, those married men. And I want to say married because when you're married, you have something that you're living for outside of yourself. There's a degree of accountability and responsibility to how you show up day in and day out. That's more than just how you are feeling in the moment. And that level of professionalism is something that only adds to these organizations, especially when you have relatively young rosters. Now, I also think Rudy Gay would be an amazing mentor for somebody like Jalen Johnson, right? With John Collins out of the way, he's no longer somebody that is going to be competing for a roster spot, right? John Collins might teach Jalen Johnson a few things, but he's not going to teach him everything. Why? Because they're competing for minutes, right? But with somebody like Rudy Gay, I think he would be an amazing, amazing mentor for these young guys. Even DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, right? He's a guy that has been around the league. He is a guy who has been able to perform at a relatively high level. At one time, he was a max contract salaried player, right? Extremely athletic, long, and he figured out how to create and carve out a long career in the NBA. I believe he's somewhere around 17, 18 seasons, right? Now, what does it mean for this Atlanta Hawks roster? I believe that this does some beautiful things for them. One, I think we've all been seeing the writing on the wall. Jalen Johnson is ready for heavier minutes and more responsibility. He's every bit the top of his draft class, top of his high school class, going into playing for Duke. Even though he didn't have the best season, he kind of fell in the draft a little bit and dropped into the Atlanta Hawks' hands. And this is why you don't necessarily give up on guys, because they don't have the season that you wanted them to have, right? Don't give up on players. It's kind of a theme of mine lately, right? And so being able to select Jalen Johnson further down in the draft, where traditionally if he had had a good year at Duke, he would have went probably top 3. But instead he falls to the Atlanta Hawks, and now he is a blessing, because he's slotted to slide into that power forward position. And I think that he's going to bring more shooting. He's going to bring great energy. He's going to allow them to play, I don't want to say a different style, but he's going to infuse them with a level of energy and shooting that's going to really open up the offense. Not only that, but Quinn Snyder is going to really enjoy having that shooting and a more open a floor space, especially for somebody like a Clint Capella running those pick and rolls. I think Tre Young is going to find more spacing as well. Now, you also have guys like DeAndre Hunter. I think he may end up seeing time at the power forward position. You might even see a DeAndre Hunter and Sadiq Bey type forward lineup at times as well. Right now, I think that we are firmly seeing that that's going to be the trio for the forward positions. Sadiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter, and Jalen Johnson. This gives them more athleticism, versatility, length, and it frees up much needed playing time for guys that they really still need to discover who and what they are as their contracts get ready to be up after next season. Let me just let you guys know a little bit about the salary situation. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he is going to be up for a new contract after next season. DeJounte Murray is up for a new contract extension after next season. Onyeka Okongwu is up for a contract extension after next season. Saddiq Bey is up for a contract extension after next season. The Atlanta Hawks have to make financial decisions at this point. Now, as much as I know that, the salary cap is a bunch of BS in the first place. These owners are making 2 to 3 times what they're paying all the players collectively. This isn't like the owner is making $50 million and they're paying out all these salaries. The owner group is probably making close to $1 billion or more. So I'm not shedding any tears for the ownership group, right? And yet they're operating under the system that they've implemented, which benefits them incredibly. But it's to say that in this system that disadvantages the players, they have to work within these means. And what it looks like is moving on from a playoff-tested, battle-tested player in John Collins, who's been somewhat of an Iron Man, someone who's been able to stay healthy relatively, who has been able to be trusted on and depended upon for the entirety of Tre Young's early career. And for the first time, he's not going to have that running mate that he's had since day one. So that's going to be interesting how the locker room shapes out, because there's a leadership component. There's a camaraderie. There's a team gelling dynamic that takes place when you have a guy who's been around for this length of time. But I'm still excited for what this does for the team. I think it reinvigorates them. I think it gives Tre Young some more energy, knowing that he's going to have to step into that leadership even more so now. I think it also allows guys like Clint Capella to really hold down that center position, and Onyeka Okongwu. I know he's been saying he's working on that jump shot. If he is, he may see some time at power forward, especially when they start going up against teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, who has Giannis Antetokounmpo, and if they retain Brook Lopez, they're going to need formidable size. And I don't quite think Jalen Johnson is there yet to try to have to hold down somebody like Giannis Antetokounmpo, especially at the end of games, right? So, but at the end of the day, I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think of this trade, right? Do you think it helps the Atlanta Hawks? What do you even see next season's outlook being? And I want to get into more of this conversation later on as I do some more videos later. But what do you think the outlook of this team is now that they're kind of making these shake-up moves? Holler at me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I'm out. Peace.